During my job interview for a reading intervention specialist position, I was asked to describe my background, experiences, training, and education that would make me suitable for the enormous responsibility of cultivating literacy in our children in one of the districts here in Spokane. Prior to coming to the interview, I read an article that said I should allot only about 60 seconds to each question because interviewers do not want to listen to all the minute, irrelevant details. I do not think 60 seconds is enough. What are you going to do? This was what was going on in my mind while taking stock of my surroundings. The principal, the assistant principal, and the 3 members of the reading intervention team happily waited for my answer. Do I hazard boring these fine people with my life story? Let's find out, I told my brain. This is a slightly longer version of what I told them. I was a book thief when I was a kid. I was desperate to read. I read anything and everything that had words and letters in them, from shampoo and coffee sachet labels to Coca-Cola glass bottles to my mom's Avon catalogs. She was an agent for Avon catalogs, for Avon products, to very old copies of Reader's Digest magazines until I ran out of materials to read. Our villages never had a library, which is normal in most parts of the Philippines. There were no children's books either. In both elementary, I and 4 other classmates shared one textbook for social studies, math, or reading. The textbooks were old and tattered. We had to return them by the end of the school year. The next batch would be responsible in renewing the covers for the books. High school was much the same. I loved hanging out at the pretend library because there were books there. Yes, they were very old and few, but I loved them just the same. I loved the leather-bound gigantic dictionary, but my favorite were the mahogany-colored Encyclopedia Britannica series. Yes, they were also very old copies and dusty, but I loved them just the same. One day I decided to take home letter P without asking permission. Nobody cared anyway. I read everything that started with letter P. I would come back and steal some more. I never returned them. As a teenager, I helped my mother teach her kindergarten students their ABCs and numbers, sometimes one-on-one and sometimes small groups. My mother's classroom was a waiting shed with a water dike. It is a shack. She eventually moved to the village daycare center. She was paid $75 a month. In her final year, before she retired, it increased to $100. When I was 21 years old, I had the privilege to do my practicum in a small island where I served underrepresented children. These were kids that did not have a carefree childhood. Most of them woke up at 3 to 4 a.m. to till the land with a water buffalo to make the soil ready for planting rice. They did not have shoes for school, and sometimes they did not eat. My volunteers and I made sure they had a great summer. I read to the kids, I cooked daily for them, I taught them environmental conservation, music, art installation. We opened the only and first art gallery for children with their artwork. We staged 2 drama productions that we performed in the public market. Then I moved to the USA in 2012. I became a mother of 2, to a daughter and a son. I started reading to them in utero. I read to them every single night since they were born because I believe that literacy starts at home. They started reading before 3 years old. My kids are now 8 and 6 and are great readers who consistently bring home yard signs that say Student of the Month for academics.